You're right then guys, so welcome back to a brand new video. Today what we're doing is fitting a Maxton rear diffuser. Now I've wanted one of these diffusers for quite a while. I think they look so sick. In my opinion it's kind of like an RS look. I just love how they look. They're just nice and big and they just look kind of aggressive for the rear. It really does help the rear look a lot better in my opinion. What I've actually done as well, I ordered it's just like a little triangular brake bulb. What I'd done, I dremeled out a small area in the middle of the Maxton rear diffuser and I've just wedged the rear brake light in the diffuser. I think they look sick. My opinion might not be to everyone's taste. There is a few tiny little gaps around the actual light itself, but I'm hoping once I've tiger sealed in place, them gaps won't be visible, and especially as it's down near the ground and you're not going to be looking at it really close up anyway, so I highly doubt it's going to be noticeable. But with this Maxton rear diffuser with fitting anyway, it sticks over the top of the standard rear diffuser. One of the things is that the honeycomb gets removed just above the standard rear diffuser, and also I'm going to have to remove the diffuser fins that I've got on as well. So if anyone is interested in my diffuser fins that I've got on at the moment and the rear honeycomb as well, I'll show you in a sec. If anyone is interested in them, just shoot me a message over Instagram or something, and we can sort that out if you are interested in buying them. I think now all that I need to do is go around to the rear, show you what the Maxton diffuser looks like and crack on really. Yeah, so this is the rear diffuser. Obviously the standard one is just this part here. These diffuser fins are just bolted on. I will need to take these off. Obviously this pinstripe will be coming off as well. And this is the rear honeycomb. Painted all of these crisscrosses purple, took quite a bit of time, and it does look pretty sick. So what we need to do, remove this rear diffuser, remove the honeycomb, remove these diffuser fins, and then with the new Maxton rear diffuser, I think the exhaust cutout is a lot larger, so we might have to actually trim some of this part away from the exhaust, just to make this hole a bit bigger. And it also in the future as well, I will want to get a custom exhaust done which is dual exit. So while I'm trimming this part out a bit bigger for the exhaust cutout for that, I might as well do the same on this side as well, just so it's easier. All I need to do when the custom exhaust is fitted, then I'll just need to drill out a hole in the Maxton rear diffuser instead of both the standard and the Maxton, if that makes sense. So what I'll do, I'll quickly show you the diffuser, the new diffuser that I've got, and the light which is actually in it. Then we'll start by taking all this off. So here it is. Obviously it's got all the protective film all over it and the masking tape that they use to just protect it a little bit in transit. As you can see, it's got sit on here, similar to that. So I think might need to trim some of the rear spats. I've heard people say it's the diffuser and the rear spats don't fit together perfectly well. Just need to trim a little bit of the rear spats off apparently. And then obviously I've got this light here in the middle, you can see that. So what I've done, I just cut kind of a square shape or a triangle shape, and then I just kept on dremeling out just little bits of plastic with the Dremel, just until this was a flush fit. So anyway guys, this is how we're looking at the moment. I've just removed the honeycomb and the diffuser fins from the standard diffuser. Just popped it back in, haven't clipped it in properly just yet. I'm just looking how this actually fits, and it doesn't actually sit in the recess of where the old diffuser and honeycomb went. It actually sits probably about an inch over the top of it. This diffuser is obviously going to have to be underneath the rear spats. If you can't really see, but just on this corner here, as the diffuser goes underneath the car, you're going to definitely want the diffuser to sit underneath the rear spats. So I'm thinking I'm going to just take off the rear spats and then have a look at how this fits, because obviously the rear spats are in the way of pushing that in at the moment. So I'm just going to remove the rear spats quickly and then see how this sits over the top. Right then guys, so finally the rear spats are off. Bit of a bitch to do, but now we can see how this will sit on there and what kind of trimming I will need to do. Really starting to get a bit annoyed with this now. Couldn't get the little bolt off which was holding on the standard rear diffuser, tiny little bolt underneath by the exhaust. Then it's a ball ache to undo the rear spats. Oh, it's just getting pissed off with it, to be fair. But it's starting to get dark now, it's getting proper cold out, so I think I'm just going to take all this back to the house. Probably just trim the exhaust gap on the standard diffuser just a little bit bigger, because I think it's catching on there. I was planning on putting the tiger seal on the Maxton rear diffuser today and actually setting it, but that's not going to happen. Cut the exhaust hole or shape on the standard diffuser a little bit bigger. Also do that for the other side, because I'll be having a dual exit exhaust sometime in the future, so I might as well cut out 2 holes. Maybe fit on the Maxton rear diffuser tomorrow, and then we'll hold up the rear spats in place and then just see how much trimming of the rear spats that we need to make. At the moment it's proving to be 1, annoying, and 2, quite a long job. I thought it'd be quite easy, but nah. Right then guys, so it's actually the next morning. Quite chilly outside today, so I got the old coat on. Just got a multi-tool here. What we're going to be doing is just trimming away, just to make, on the standard diffuser, just to make the exhaust hole a little bit bigger. And then obviously I'm going to do it on this side as well, because then I'll be going dual exit exhaust soon. So I'll just trim a hole out on that side as well. And I'm thinking that I might actually need to cut a hole in the middle for the brake light that I've put on the new diffuser. I did tiger seal that in place last night, so that should be all set. And then what we're going to do after we've done this, take it to the car, make sure the diffuser fits on top of this, and then we can have a look about sticking it down. Literally just going to go in with this, cut it to pieces, boys. Don't know if it's really the best doing it on here, but give it a go. That looks quite a joke. That is a fat exhaust hole. Maxton should have no problem fitting over that now. I'm just going to go do the same on this side as well. So there we are. Doesn't look too bad. Obviously it's not going to be perfect, doesn't need to be. Just cutting out that hole there just for the dual exit exhaust when I finally get it. So obviously it doesn't have to be perfect, just cut the hole behind the Maxton diffuser. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut a little hole here, probably about this kind of size, just so the brake light which is on the Maxton has got enough room. There we are guys. So it's obviously lost a bit of its strength, it's not going to be as strong now, but I reckon with the clips all clipped in at the top on both sides, I think it should be perfectly fine. So what we'll do now, I'm going to just sand this down a little bit and sand the inside of the Maxton rear diffuser, just so the tiger seal's got a little bit of roughness to stick down to, just so they bond together nicely. Well then boys, so it looks very messy, but that is absolutely fine. It's now proper nice and rough. You can hear it. That's just going to be perfect for the tiger seal to bond to and stick to. It just gives it like all the tiny little grooves and just gives it something to kind of cling on to, if that makes sense. So now I'm just going to do the same on the inside of the Maxton rear diffuser. There we go guys, you can hear that it's now all rough. As I said, it'll just make it bond a little bit better, and obviously be a little bit of a stronger bond as well. So I think now it's probably time to take both the diffusers back round to the car, take the tiger seal, take the masking tape, and yeah, I think we're pretty much ready, you know. Right then guys, so as you can see, I've got all the tiger seal and masking tape and things like that that I'll need. I've just clipped in the standard rear diffuser, which is just in there. You can obviously see the cutout which I've done for the LED brake light, which is just in the middle behind my tripod there. Now, with the wiring, I'm thinking to obviously feed it through here. I don't know how much you'll be able to see underneath here. Let me just try brighten it up a little bit. Now you can see in the wheel well, there's just a bung just there. Probably going to feed the wires from the rear diffuser from here just into there. And then if I just show you quickly, let's just turn this brightness back down again. If you can see just down there, that is the bung which I've just taken out. This one here, I've just taken that out. Probably going to feed the wire through there, feed it up underneath the false floor, which I've just done, then possibly feed it up through the plastics or around this sill here. Yeah, I'll probably feed it up through underneath the headliner into there, and then that will come out in the actual boot itself, and then obviously I'll be wiring it up to the third brake light. That needs replacing anyway, because it's a bit cracked and stuff. Obviously I can't wire it up with the brake lights on the actual main rear lights, because they obviously come on with the side lights, and then they also get brighter when you brake as well. So I think if I wired them up to them, it would just be on with the side lights, and say if I braked at all, it would then come on as well. So I'm just going to want it on just when I brake purely. So yeah, I think now what we're going to do is start by just feeding the wire for the Maxton rear diffuser, feed the wire from the brake light there, feed it up that hole, make sure it's wedged in there so it doesn't fall out or whatever. Then we'll have a look at tiger sealing the diffuser on, and then when obviously the tiger seal's all set and it's all properly sealed on, then we can figure out about the wiring, feeding wires up and stuff like that. Right then boys, so got it fairly closely lined up. I've got the jack here just to hold the weight of it. I think I'm just going to go for it. A little bit nerve-wracking. Yeah, this is an old tiger seal, so I think I can't, it's all like sealed at the top here, and then I've also got a brand new one. So I think first of all what I'll do, I'll just pierce it or something here, squeeze out loads just so I can then maybe use this old window tinting kind of tool, and just proper thick put it on in the areas where I need the tiger seal to be thick. I think what I might also do when it's sealed is just drill a small hole through here, and maybe down here as well if I can, and just put a nut down there, just so I know the nut is similar to like this kind of thing, just a nut with a bolt through it as well. So it'll be going up through that, and I'll just tighten the nut on the top of it. So I'll leave it up there, but I might do that when it's sealed, just so I know it's all in position and things like that. Also whack on some gloves as well, because I don't really want to be getting tiger seal all over my hands. So I've got a little bit on my hands yesterday, and you scrub your hands and it just doesn't come off. So if you are using tiger seal, it is a strong sealant, so I would just suggest using gloves and just being fairly careful with it. Now I know this probably isn't the best way to be doing it, but I've just got to get a load out, because I'm probably going to need some of this one. I'm just going to lay this on thick in the areas, and then with the new tiger seal I'll just be a bit more careful with that one, and I can actually put that in places quite precisely with the nozzle. So I'm just going to use this one at the moment. Just get all that tiger seal off there. Now I'm just going to squeeze, and there should be a lot of tiger seal that comes out of this. Just like that. Now I'm just going to use this on areas where I know I'll need quite a thick amount, Just literally want to cover the whole thing in Tiger Seal just so I know that it's on there real nice and good and it ain't going to come off at any time. Right, so now all the Tiger Seal is all on the rear diffuser and in this kind of recess here, and kind of down these just corner bits. Just going to make sure that wire is fully pulled down tight, which it is. And very carefully just line this all up. Right then guys, so after holding it for a little while, it then kind of stuck, kind of just like a tacky sticky, like what I said. I was then able to stick a load of masking tape all over it. I've also got these cardboard tubes which had my like window tint and stuff in, just wedged them, pushing the diffuser kind of into the bumper. Got my heavy toolbox pushing that one, keeping it still. Got the jack just supporting the weight underneath. Jack stand just kind of pushing it a tiny bit into the bumper, and then that tube there kind of pushing it in towards the bumper as well. I think I might need to, after like the top has set and properly stuck, I might need to just go around like these little corners here just with a tiny bit more Tiger Seal, because it looks like they're not perfectly flush. But this masking tape I've got here is all nice and tight, so it should be okay for it to properly set now. So I think I'll just leave this now. And then I'll probably check back in the morning. It's probably going to have at least about 20 hours to fully set and dry. Probably keep an eye on it and keep coming back and checking it, and then I'll update you obviously when I come back out tomorrow morning. Right then guys, so it's the morning after. I've just come straight to the car, haven't really looked at it at all. It was a bit of a chilly one last night and it was quite misty as well. So I'm hoping the tape hasn't like gone quite soft and wet kind of thing. Yeah, the Tiger Seal should have set because it's had a good like 23 hours roughly, 22 hours maybe. It's now just after midday, so we're going to go check it now, remove all the masking tape, make sure it's fully secured onto the rear bumper. Yeah, so let's just go have a look at it. You're right then guys, so I'm sorry if the last cut seemed a little bit weird. Yesterday I did actually film an outro, but then I've decided that I wanted to show you the light working, and then I also wanted to do a few cinematics, which I'm actually going to do this weekend. But I just wanted to go out, go down some country roads and actually have a little blast and actually show you properly what it looks like, because I think it will look a lot better. Maybe like in the afternoon when the light is dying down, especially waiting to see my brake light which I've just wired up, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to incorporate them kind of things into the video, as well as just literally the fitting of it as well. So I'm just going to show you how I've wired up the brake light now. I've wired up the positive and the negative for this brake light just down here. I've wired that up to the connector from here. I've just tapped into the wires. I've then fed it. Let me show you. Underneath here there's just a gap which actually gets through to the third brake light, so I've just fed the wires down through here, through this little thing here, fed them down here, and it actually comes out just underneath the headliner here. Peeled back the headliner, and then I've just fed all the wires just down on the inside of the headliner. Right, so the red and the black is what's fed down from up the top from the third brake light. Then this is the wire from the actual brake light that I've put in the diffuser. There was a red and a black coming off this wire as well. Obviously I've just joined them up to them. Let me just poke all of that behind there. The wire from the third brake light, brighten it right up for you. Don't know if you'll be able to see underneath there, coming from the back of the brake light, there's that wire, and it actually goes through a little bung in the bottom of the spare wheel well. I'll just show you that up there. I did actually have to cut a tiny little bit of that out so it actually fit. And then obviously there is the brake light. I have just also drilled in a couple of little
bolts right on the corners of the diffuser there, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it over there somewhere, there I think.
Right then guys, so you should have just seen the brake light working in the diffuser as I've just wired it all up. It's now all done. Obviously today I've just wired up the third brake light and put them 2 little bolts in just to secure it a little bit better. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video here, pick up the camera again on Saturday or Sunday at the weekend, get some cinematics, and yeah, I might have added some pinstripe by then as well because I think the pinstripe looks sick. So yeah, I'll just see you at the weekend when we're going to do some cinematics. Right then guys, so welcome back. It is now actually the weekend, it's Sunday. I was going to do this yesterday but it was raining and stuff, but I decided for the proper filming of the cinematics I wanted to do, I wanted to have the rear spats on as well. So I decided today to just get the rear spats on, then I found out, I think I've heard a few people say it before, that the rear spats need slight kind of trimming and cutting. So I didn't expect it to take as long as it did. Now starting to lose the light on Sunday, so I'm hoping to go and film some actual proper shots to end the video tomorrow before work. But yeah, the trimming of the rear spats, let me just turn the camera around and show you. This is how they look now. You can see that I've taken a big chunk off this side here, and then it just needed trimming around this side here. Because basically it's this big lip underneath the rear diffuser which sticks out, which wouldn't normally stick out on the standard diffuser. So they've got to kind of fit over the top of that. I just hold that roughly in place. You can see that it now kind of fits in place. Obviously that's only a rough fitment, I need to bolt them in. But on this one, I think I went a little bit too far with the trimming with the Dremel, because I've gone a little bit lower here than this one, so I'm hoping that you can't see too much of a gap here underneath that part of the diffuser there. So I'm now going to get these rear spats bolted back on. Right guys, so you might not be able to see much, but finally the rear spats are back on. Took a little bit of doing, a bit difficult in the dark, but yeah, they're all solid. All 3 of the bolts are tightened up properly, really nice and tight, so I know that the rear spats aren't coming off. As I said earlier, this one is pretty much perfect. Whereas this one, if you look at it at the slight wrong angle, you can see just in there's a little kind of gap in between the rear spat and the rear diffuser. That's where I got a bit too trimming or Dremel happy, I should say. Mistake on my half, but it's only if you're looking for it or if you're at the right angle, and if you're close to it you can only see that. So it's now getting dark obviously, so you're not going to be able to see much, but I think I'm going to leave it there. In the morning I'll give the rear spats and the rear diffuser a bit of a clean, and then put some pinstripe on it, and then hopefully we can get our good cinematics. But yeah, I think the rear does look really good with the rear spats and the Maxton rear diffuser, and I think pinstripe will just top it off. So I'll see you in the morning. Right then guys, so it's now the next day. I've just driven down to the spot where I'm going to get some cinematics. I am going to just leave the video here. Finally, after quite a few days of waiting to get some cinematics, finally ending the video here because I'm actually going to get the good enough footage for the end of the video. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate for everyone watching, liking, commenting, and also subscribing as well. Comment what you think, like the video, and please do subscribe, because I am trying to hit that 3K mark and I am thankful for everyone who's subscribed. So yeah, what is the focus doing? There we go. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.